We are beautifully,
Beautifully Melanated Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sarah, and I'm here with my co-hosts.
I'm Karen.
And I'm Kay. And welcome to this episode. We're going to start off this week with the reader letter. I have permission to read her letter out and to use her given name. So this came from Keisha. She says, "Good evening, beautiful ladies. I'm not going to lie. I was not too keen on listening to this podcast, which is a reflection on my experiences. But listening to your conversations with your guest, Lee, this week has had a positive impact on me. Whilst saddened and shocked for the 11-year-old child who went through such a traumatic experience, I have admiration and respect for the man and father he became. I agree wholeheartedly with his outlook on co-parenting. And whilst I was unable to give my children that experience, I've always thought it possible. I do the flaky, I love you every day, but can't remember the last time I've told my young men how proud of them I am. My daughter was a few days ago, but I try not to be too mushy and irritate my sons. Next time they lean in for a hug, I'm going to tell them what they need to hear from me and that they can be the fathers that they needed their fathers to be. So thank you once again for a fantastic podcast. With love, Keisha."
So, guys, tonight I had a thought about this particular topic, and it's something that isn't particularly hugely deep, but I guess it could be. But it's something that I wanted to talk about, and so I spoke to Kay and Karen, and I wanted to see if they were interested in talking about it as well. And that topic is, how important is personal appearance to you? And so this kind of came about because I was having a massive, and I am still having a massive kind of like hair dilemma. I am a person that loves hair. I think in another life I should have just been a hairstylist. I love hair. I love doing my own hair. And I just take great care in doing my own hair. I do kind of sometimes do a weave, or I might do some clip-ins or style my natural hair or mix up the both and that kind of stuff, basically. So I was just thinking about it, and it was really getting really frustrated. And I was thinking about how important it is for me to kind of look well put together. So I like my hair to look good. I like my nails to look good. And I like my clothes to look fresh. And that's not about designer. I don't really think I even own anything designer. It's not about that. It's really not about that. For me, it's about looking fresh and I guess just, put together, because that makes me feel good. And I was thinking back the other day when I had my daughter for the first time. Oh, my God, I really looked a mess. And that's not to say that, you know, when you've just had a baby, you should be kind of thinking about how you look. It wasn't about that. But, you know, the times kind of when you're at home with your daughter or your son, you've just had, for women that have had a newborn baby, you know, and you kind of live in the dressing gown. And there was times when my partner at the time would come home, and I still looked like crap. And I remember feeling like crap because I had this tracksuit that I used to wear. And you know those cheap tracksuits that are all bobbly, and when you wash them enough times, they go really bobbly. And that kind of contributed to my feeling of crapness. I'm just going to be real. And I remember one day we went out to a family party, and everybody kind of, you know, was getting ready and stuff. And I was getting ready, and I just felt crap because what I brought with me was really, it wasn't doing me any favors. It didn't fit right. And I think that's another thing about getting clothes that fit right. It doesn't matter what size you are. Just please make sure your clothes fit right. That's what's really important for me as well, you know. So there I was, a mother to, you know, my newborn daughter, and I just felt awful. I felt awful. And what I guess in hindsight, I guess I could have done is maybe given my daughter to my mother and booked a hair appointment, or, gone down to, I don't know, somewhere and bought some clothes that fitted me. But I didn't. There I was in this bobbly tracksuit, feeling worse, and kind of living in a dressing gown. And it didn't help to my feeling of really, I become very, very self-confident later on in life, like now, but I lost a lot of my confidence back then. So now it's important for me to look after myself. So I've got a good skincare regime, and I've got a good I do my nails, and I make sure my hair is on point. And I very rarely go to the hairdressers. I do want to start doing that a little bit more, but I know I've been talking to Karen a lot about, especially over lockdown, about appearance. And we were talking about how, looking after ourselves in a certain way makes us feel, and it's not about dressing up for a man, it's not about dressing up for somebody else, it's about how it makes us feel inside. And I know for me, when I feel crap, if I let myself go and I don't do my hair or my nails, or my hair's a bit fuzzy, and I just feel rubbish. So yeah, I just thought it was an important topic to kind of think about, and I want to discuss it with the other two ladies tonight and see what their experiences were about personal appearance as well. So yeah, Karen, what's your thoughts on this?
Okay, so you have mentioned lots of things that I completely identify with there, Sarah. So I guess personal appearance and self-care, they're slightly different, but the two go together. So I'll start with self-care. Self-care for me could be making sure that I've packed a decent lunch so that when I'm at work, I'm not tempted to eat a packet of biscuits with a cup of tea, right? So I might have made a salad and, gone through a bit of effort. That's self-care. Self-care could also be grooming. So making sure my nails are neat and tidy. I often do my nails. I go to the nail shop and I have my nails done. I put gel polish on because I have quite dark nails, and I like polishing them. Just makes them look a little bit, makes them look quite nice. Sometimes my self-care regime changes depending on how much disposable income I have. So for example, I do my nails and I do my toes because I'm in a position where I can do that now. But there have been times where I have had to do them myself. There's nothing wrong with that. I like my nails to be clean and tidy. Can't abide dirt under the fingernails. So there's that kind of thing. When it comes to clothes, I guess I have a particular aesthetic. I like certain things. I do like a bit of designer, but I like them in the sale. I like things that I think look nice on me. And it's very personal, isn't it? Because I could put something on and my friends can go, oh, that's really lovely, but I just don't like it. Or I can put something on and my friends go, oh, I'm not sure, but I love it. And it really is what I like. If I put it on and I think, yes, that's nice, it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks. I think I know my body, I know my aesthetic, I know, colours and things that I think suit me. So I have to go with that. And hope that, yes, I do look good when I put it on. I feel good. I only wear things that make me feel good. However, there was a time, a bit like Sarah, when I was married, and I remember Steve Harvey made a joke about women who walk around the house in their dressing gowns and headscarves on, smelling like chicken. I thought, oh my gosh, that is me. That's probably me. Because I think I was just in a very unhappy place. And I think that reflected in the way I carried myself. This wouldn't be outside of the home. This was mainly inside. But it made me think, when you're in a relationship, I think it is important to still maintain a level of, put togetherness to an extent. That doesn't mean you can't wear trackies or be casual, or you can't have, relaxing time, or that, your hair has to be on point all the time. I'm sure, if your partner loves you, he loves you. However, I do think for myself, there is a certain level of self-care that I think is important to maintain. And it would be really interesting to hear from fellas out there, if you're brave enough, to let us know what you think. I hear people say things like, she looked like this when I met her, and then she just let herself go, she put weight on, or she stopped caring, she didn't do her hair anymore. Like I say, it could be a number of reasons why we don't prioritize ourselves. For example, I would say having my children, I became, I put myself on the back burner, I think, much of the time. And it was all about my children, making sure they looked pristine and, presentable and things. And actually, interestingly, the other day, my youngest got ready for school and she put on a pair of tights with 2 holes in it. We're leaving the house. I said to her, where are you going with the tights? Can you not see you've got a hole in your tights? She said, oh, Mum, doesn't matter. I was incensed. What do you mean it doesn't matter? You've got holes in your tights. I thought, number one, the school are probably going to call me and say, can you make sure that your daughter's got tights? They didn't. But I think, I was just surprised that she didn't care, because I don't understand why you'd want to leave. If you went out and you snagged your tights, that's different, isn't it? But to leave the house knowing that you've got 2 holes in your tights, that was like, come on. So I'm quite particular about things like that. My mum used to always say, make sure you wear decent underwear because you might have an accident outside and need to go to hospital, and you need to make sure
Relatable.
that you've got decent underwear on. Just little things like that. I think, being groomed and looking presentable is really important. I was saying to Sarah that for me, the outside often helps the inside. If I look in the mirror and I feel put together, number one, I work in in an environment where I am customer facing, and I want to look the part, to be presentable, put together, professional. I think all those things matter. And even socially, if I were going out, I'd like to, represent myself in a positive way. Equally, I'm attracted to a man who's put together. He doesn't have to be, fully cladded in designer, but I would like a man who knows what suits him and, presents himself well. So all those things are really important. The other thing I would say, though, when it comes to hair, I was saying earlier to the girls that I've probably got, 15C texture. My hair is really coarse, really, really coarse. And, even as a very young child, I've had a really love-hate relationship with my hair, because my mum would wash my hair on a Sunday afternoon, right? And she'd let me go and play. And it would get so dry. It would just be crusty. And then she'd say, right, come on, let's sit and do your hair. And the pain of it. I actually have, I've been traumatized by that, I think. And I don't know who can relate to this. We used to use, what was it, Dax hair oil in your hair.
Blue Magic.
Blue Magic, yeah. It's still
Yeah.
Blue Magic, actually. And so hair for me was always, I just don't have fond memories of getting my hair done. It was always very painful. My mum wasn't very good at doing hair, so she couldn't cornrow and things like that. I used to have what I call bed plaits to go to school, and then the kids would take the mick out of me.
Oh man.
I know, yeah. So I think all these things have sort of impacted in my relationship with my own hair. However, I tend to wear a lot of extensions. I either have braids, or I have a weave, or I wear a wig, or something, right? And I guess it's kind of contentious, because now we're in the age where people are really embracing their Afro hair, which is great. My kids love their hair, and their hair is beautiful. But I don't know, for me, it's not even about self-care. That has now become just general maintenance. Me getting my hair done is simply maintenance. I can't imagine not doing it. Because, like I say, it has to get done, doesn't it? And sometimes my kids will be like, Mum, your weave's levitating. Okay, it's time to get it. But my children, they're very, very hard on me. So I never have my weave levitating. But they're very hard on me. So they will always make sure that Mummy's on point. And I love that. So yeah, that's my relationship with self-care and appearance. How about you, Kay?
Some bits relatable. The hair, I'm going to start there. Different relationship, but very impatient with my hair. And I have soft curly hair. So on the surface, there should be no reason to be impatient with it. But I have always been impatient with it. And I remember coming from Jamaica with relaxed hair, long, flowy hair, past my shoulders, only to discover I can't go to the hairdresser here every week to get my hair washed and styled. I had to wash it myself. And the horror of horrors is when I had to relax it myself. And I was like, line drawn. So I shaved it off. Went number one, just shaved it off. But I remember wearing rollers to bed, talking about letting self go. And my husband at the time was like, no. This is not going to work. Those rollers went flying everywhere. And that, I just thought, he's got a point. I am coming to bed with hard rollers, pins, so I can look good the next day. That is not great for a love life. So the combination of that and having to do my own hair, including relaxing it, that was it. The hair went. And I have, over the years, I've grown it back. I've cut it off. I've gone number one about 5 times. And I think maybe this is my last time because currently it's shaved and I absolutely love it. I don't have to do anything with it. I can just get up, run my hands through it, and I'm ready. And I love that. Does it mean I don't care about how I look? No, I actually do. I like when my barber shaves it when I'm really sharp and fresh. But I don't have a lot of time for that, for the feminine look. My scalp cannot tolerate weaves anyway, or braids. It just itches like mad. So if I could, I think I would wear a weave from time to time and just let my hair be, but I can't. In terms of dress, again, I would happily wear a designer sack if I could. Because I just cannot stand ironing. In lockdown, my iron thought I left home. And because I will not go out without ironing my clothes, I've resorted to buying clothes that don't need ironing. Some of it is flattering, maybe some less flattering. I'm fortunate I can wear just about anything to work. I can wear jeans to work. But I am much more an inside person. And I was thinking of you, Sarah and Karen, when you said you did your nails. I haven't done my nails in a long, long time because I used to kickbox and box, and to put nails in a boxing glove and do a fist, it's quite painful, actually. So the nails had to go, and there was no point making them pretty and sparkly because they're going to come off. I'm going to sweat them off. And so I have them clean. I have clean hands. Sometimes I paint them myself, but I'm not bothered. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, how bothered am I about personal appearance now? If I'm clean and I look good and I'm groomed, I'm good. I don't add much. Lipstick and earrings will tell you I'm ready for work. And that's about it. I don't wear foundation because I have to take it off. If I really want to get glammed up, my daughter does my makeup for me. And I look really nice, but that is not something I could commit to every day. A makeup routine and then take it off at night. No, again, I don't want to spend my time doing that. So I don't know what that says about me, but you ladies see me often enough. Do I look okay? I think I do the bare minimum.
You look great. You've always looked great. And I think it's about, isn't it, about looking fresh and clean and, you know, what you said also, it's about what's on the inside as well, isn't it? Because there's no point in looking fresh and clean if on the inside, you know, you're not looking after yourself as well. So, yeah, you always look well presented, Kay. You always look fresh and well presented. And
I really like your I love your hair like that. And I think that you have a face that suits that hair, you know? Right. I think that, and I love your colour, your choice of colour lipstick. You always go for the bright, which I really love. And I think that really makes your eyes pop. So I think it's very, very personal. What self-care is for me is going to mean something completely different to you. What self-care means to you is going to be slightly different to Sarah, because, and I guess that's the whole point. We all have different personalities, and we all, you know, prioritize different things. So Yeah.
I kind of want to take up that challenge you put out there, Karen, to the men about what does it mean when your woman has let herself go? Where would your line be? Is it that she's gained weight and she's not bothered to lose it? Because again, I'm thinking that's quite a pressure for women to have a certain aesthetic.
For example, I have put weight on since, my 20s, for example, definitely. I've had 2 children, but I do try to maintain a certain weight thereabouts. I mean, it's not science, but within, because what happens to me is that I start to feel lethargic.
Mm-hmm.
I start to feel heavy, and I think it affects me the way that, I don't know, my well-being, if that makes sense. So in lockdown, I could feel that was happening. So I started doing my walks. And now actually I have a friend, very, very good friend. She's a personal trainer. And she calls me, she video calls me at 8 every evening for a workout.
Wow. Wow. What kind of workout?
So we're doing abs at the moment. We're trying to, I'd like to just maintain what I have. And I think as I've got older, that's becoming more difficult because obviously menopause is set in and all sorts of other things going on. So number one, I actually feel better inside. It makes me feel good. And secondly, I would like to be able to just fit in the clothes I've already got. So from that point of view, and I am conscious of, I don't know, just, my appearance in that way. That's a difficult one, isn't it? And again, that would be really different for everyone. I think different people have different relationships or different views on bodies and what they think their body should look like. Do you know what I mean? So if I've seen lots of women who are 14 or 16 and and they look fantastic. They put themselves together really well. I don't think it's about weight or size. I think it's what's right for you.
It's how it makes you feel, isn't it? Because I know when you're talking about the weight gain, I know that I mainly stick to a keto diet now since Christmas. I will mainly stick to that and not eat the white rice, the pasta, the white bread and all that kind of stuff. Because I know, like you said, Karen, if I just eat stuff too much, stuff that doesn't agree with my body, then I will increase in size. And again, it's not about other people's opinions. It's not about, having to be a certain size. But I know that I'd say in my body, I'm probably best at a 12 to 14. That's my ideal size. I'm now a 14. I was a 16. But when I was a 16, I felt so uncomfortable. And then that made me feel, because my clothes felt tight, and that made me feel low in mood. So again, it's not about, I've seen ladies that's a size 18 to 20 look amazing. It's just about me, how I feel in my clothes and in my skin. And so, I think it's very individual. It's very, very, very individual for people, I think.
Is some of this for the male gaze or not?
No, not for the male gaze. This is for me. For me.
Yeah.
When I was younger, yes, but not now. I think what it was, Kay, is my clothes felt very tight. And because my clothes felt tight, I felt uncomfortable. And then I just felt horrible. But The
thing is, though, Kay, I think the two go slightly hand in hand, right? I'll tell you why I say that. If I don't feel good about me, and when I step out, I am not presenting myself the way that I'd like to, and I don't feel good, I don't think I'm then going to attract someone who will also make me feel good. Does that make sense? So I think that, they're kind of interwoven in a way, because I think you attract often your likeness. So if you're in a good place, you tend to attract good energy. And if you feel like crap,
Very true.
Very true. So I guess you're not doing it for someone, but inadvertently, it may have an effect on who you meet, depending on how you feel,
Very true.
This is one thing I really miss about being in Jamaica. It's so good for your self-esteem, no matter what size you are, because the man will always call to you, as we used to say. You know, they're like your walking mirrors, and they big you up and they make you feel sexy and they make you feel good, no matter what size you are. I don't know if it's changed much now, but yeah, it wasn't a size thing. It was you're my type, you're my style. And when I was growing up, skinny girls couldn't get no love. It was all about the curvy girls. And now it's the other way around, which is very, very sad. But I have spent at least 25 years bullying my body to become a size it wasn't naturally so. I have done every diet under the sun. They were all diets that were based on restriction. Restrict types of food, restrict sugar, restrict carbs. I loved keto. I think my body really loves keto, but keto is not terribly affordable to maintain all the time. And I've been in the gym and I've worked hard till I injured myself. And I'm still the size I've been trying to get away from. I've lost the same 30 pounds about 30 times. And I've just thought, you know what? I'm not going to fight my body anymore. I'm going to be focused on making my body strong and treating it well. So it's landed on a size that this number years ago would terrify me, and I would restrict my food until it went down. I'm not doing that anymore. Having worked in a hospice and worked with people at the end of their lives, I realized I wouldn't want to get to the end of my life and all I remember is having gone through restriction and not enjoying eating or not even really exploring how strong my body is. So that's one of the reasons why I did kickboxing and why I then went on to do boxing and strength training, because I really like to see how strong I am and what my body can do. So rather than make it an object for the gaze, I wanted to make it a healthy vehicle I want to live in. And I know a lot of times I've seen this in the media classed as fat, people making fat, what's the word I'm looking for, ladies? Basically, you're saying it's okay to be fat. It's not. Well, actually, fat and health or slimness and health are not synonymous. You know, you can have really slim people who are not healthy. So I wonder whether I have a range of clothes. You know, if I go up a size and I come down a size, hey, I'm rolling with it. And I will not go back. It wasn't good for me mentally, interestingly. It wasn't good for me mentally to become fixated on one size, so that if I wasn't that size, then I was deeply unhappy. Now weight fluctuates. Perimenopause, Karen mentioned. Hell yes. So if I wake up one morning and I'm half a stone heavier, then I put on a size 16 or 17 or 18 or 19 or 20. It is what it is. I have the whole range in my wardrobe. And I do wonder whether that means I wouldn't attract the kind of partner I would want. But I'm just wondering. I don't know. I haven't done an anecdotal straw poll to see what men find attractive anymore. But again, not on my radar.
2 questions actually for you, Clay. The first one is, one question. How do you feel in yourself now? You kind of gave me a little bit of a gist about that, but do you feel healthy? Do you feel good currently?
No, because I'm not boxing and I'm not strength training, so I don't feel good. It's not about the size, it's that I'm not moving and I'm not doing my Pilates. So I'm not moving as much as I used to. So that is what I miss.
Okay, and I completely identify with that because, like I say, if I don't do some form of exercise, I do feel lethargic, and I know what you mean. But if you were able to be active and you were the size you are, you felt strong, you felt healthy, that would make you happy, right? Would you feel happy? Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the point.
I feel amazing.
I think it's not about size. I think it's about how you feel in yourself. For example, my eldest daughter, she's very tall. She's that 5'8", something like that. If she were a size 8 or a size 6 or something ridiculous, she'd look emaciated. You know, she's just really tall. She has really wide hips. And she's got a derriere, which she's very proud of. Loves her figure. And I love that she loves her figure. I think it's really, really important. And so what I'm trying to say is everyone's different. I think you've just got to be what is good and comfortable for you. And I also think it is cultural in terms of what men like. I think different men from different backgrounds, or I don't know, just different men generally are attracted to different things, right? So what was I looking at the other day? I can't remember what it was, but it was a white guy. I wasn't on Tinder, promise I wasn't. But he was saying something like, he likes a certain aesthetic. So he likes someone who's athletic, somebody, and somebody who works out. She's got to go to the gym, and and I thought, wow, that's quite specific. So there are there are going to be men who like that kind of woman. Well, then go to the gym and you'll meet them.
Absolutely.
And then and then you, like you say, you'll have other men. Lots of Jamaican men say, they want something to hold on to. They, no cum. They want
buff. Yes.
All right. So I think, it's different strokes for different folks. And like I say, I think you will attract your likeness. But you said something interesting, Kay. You said you wonder if you will attract the kind of man that you like. So what kind of man do you like?
A man with a deep and healthy soul. A man who operates from the inside, who is at peace with himself, who is comfortable in his skin. He knows what his flaws are, and he works with them. A man who is in therapy, hugely sexy to me. But a man who is committed to knowing himself, and who is patient, and who will also be patient with whatever journey I find myself on. So I don't want to be a typical woman, i.e., do, work, come home, cook dinner, blah, 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 please my man in bed, make sure he's gorgeous and all of that. No. Been there, done that. I want a man who is evolved, who is very spiritual, but also matches my energy.
But in terms of, because we're talking about aesthetics, right? We're talking about self-care, looks, blah, blah, blah. What, in terms of his outward appearance?
Good teeth.
Yeah.
His teeth should be clean. I can't bear dirty teeth. I can't. Clean teeth, clean clothes, iron them, smell good, groom yourself, go to the barbers. For me, the lack of grooming is a huge deal breaker. It doesn't really matter what size he is or whether he's a gym bod. I'm evolved past that. But you got to at least love the skin you're in, no matter what size it is. And loving the skin you're in says, I'm going to take care of it. So on the outside, I look good. I see the dentist. I see the hygienist. Look after yourself. Look after the instrument that carries your soul.
Yeah, I hear that. I 100% hear that.
We're coming to the end of the podcast, ladies. Sarah, any final thoughts?
No, I think you guys have covered it all, really. You've covered it all. But I think it does go both ways. One thing I will say, it does go both ways, because the men that say, oh, she let herself go, she gained weight, etc., etc., would those women be comfortable with their man letting it all go? I know I wouldn't. Let's just be real. If my man is very toned and muscular and stuff, and I think if he just sat there on the sofa, eating loads of crap and gained loads of weight, jacked in his job, decided not to bother with life, I would not be okay with that. I mean, myself and my partner actually had a conversation before our relationship became, as it is now. We actually both agreed with each other, we're not going to do that to each other. I won't become a stick thin. He said, don't become, but also, he said, won't jack in his job, sit on the sofa. He said, eat loads of junk food and refuse to work. That's not who I decided to get into a relationship. So where I think it's fine, obviously when a woman has a child, you're going to gain weight. That's natural. Of course you are. I think, say it's come to 2 years down the line after you've had the baby, then come on. If you are a woman that used to go to hairdressers, then go back. If you're a woman that used to go for walks, go back on your walks again. I don't know. I just think it goes both ways, because I wouldn't want my partner to kind of let himself go totally and be like, oh no, it's okay. You just let yourself go and I'll just still find you attractive. So what would happen is I wouldn't find you attractive. If I go off you, I'm probably going to want to cheat on you. So let's just do that. So that's my final words on it all. Just look after yourself, people. Seriously, just look after your mental health and look after your physical health. can't go to the gym, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Just move your physical body. Doesn't matter what size you are, what age you are, just physically move and take care of you. It's so important, so important. But yeah, that's all I had to say.
Thanks, Sarah. That gave me quite the chuckle. So at least he knows the deal. He knows he's got to keep that bod.
Yeah, he will do. I know he will do. If you're listening, he'll keep that bod to the day that he dies.
He dies, yeah. He'll make a great corpse. Karen, final words.
Oh, I can't add to that. I think Sarah said it all.
I had another thought spring to me, but clearly for another podcast. But I was going to say, for the women who still have their baby weight on 22 years later, I'm being very specific. I'm speaking to self. It helps if you have a community that supports you. If you have the right support, then you can be the lady who goes to the gym and you can look after yourself in a different way. But if you're single and you're struggling, it's harder. I'm not saying impossible, just harder to incorporate cost-wise and time-wise your pre-baby habits and your pre-family habits. So that's for another podcast. But we agree that we love to look good, that we take care of ourselves inside and out. And we would like to say thank you for listening. And thank you, Keisha, for writing in. And I'm putting another end here, but a huge welcome to our new followers on Instagram. We see you. We appreciate you. Hope you enjoy this podcast, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.
We are beautifully